Welcome back to One Hero, One Burning Question. Today, I am joined by Leo Rayman from EdenLab. Thank you very much for joining us today, Leo. Leo, you were on the advisory committee for Energy Landscape UK, and you're going to be speaking on a panel in October. So thank you very much for playing such a crucial role. But today, your burning question is, EdenLab's recent white paper, The Great Switch, argues that the clean energy transition isn't just a technology challenge. It's a marketing one where emotional drivers like trust, comfort, and simplicity often outweigh the price of efficiency. In a landscape increasingly driven by digitalisation and decentralised energy systems, how can energy companies reframe their value propositions to make low carbon living irresistible and mainstream, not just rational, but emotional?
I mean, Thank you. Thanks, Andy. That's, it's such a powerful and it's such an important question. I'm delighted that we're going to be looking at the, aspects of that at the conference as well. Because otherwise, if we don't get people on board and meet people where they are, that's the fundamental. We're just going to be going through this transition much more slowly than we need to. And so there's something at stake here. I think it's fair to say that in the energy sector, we've discussed this before, and along with some of the panel members and members on the committee as well. The energy sector quite often thinks about the meter rather than the customer. And we could probably also say that energy sector brands are not necessarily the most trusted brands in the lives of the public. So there's a significant emotional hurdle there. Then you throw into that the idea that the way in which I'm going to warm my home and the way I'm going to get light and the way in which I'm going to power my machines, drive my car and so on is all about to change. And you're dealing with a kind of perfect storm. And my feeling is, and my evidence I've seen so far, is that there's just not enough uniform, high quality effort across the whole sector to really engage people on their terms, to talk to them, frankly, in ways that they care about. So kilowatt hours means nothing to anyone who hasn't done some work in this sector. I mean, literally meaningless, kWh. And so how might you find ways to actually jump that barrier and actually talk in real terms? And what we found, and the research proves it too, is that things like comfort, things like security, things like resilience, things like control, they're really powerful emotional thoughts. They're really, really powerful emotional levers. And so playing into those is an opportunity if done right. But it's not just about, designing some wonderful, emotionally intelligent narrative, although that is important. It's also really about putting ourselves in the shoes of the homeowner or the person living in a block of flats to really understand how they might think about it. There's something which took the business world by storm about 5-10 years ago called design thinking. And it was all about really, putting the user at the heart of the experience and designing around them and really understanding their pains, their gains, figuring out what it would take to make them change their behavior. That is what needs to happen here. And we need to think about the ability to design the experience for people to move to a clean, green energy system and one at home that is incredibly low friction, that's really easy. Think about how Spotify made it so easy for you to download any music you wanted. It became incredibly simple. If Spotify did the clean energy transition, you can imagine what that might feel like. And I think it'd be a lot better than some of the approaches that some of the existing incumbents are playing. Just one example. So I think that balance of thinking about emotional intelligence and thinking about putting ourselves in the shoes of the customer, not the meter. These are the things that are going to be they're the big battlefronts that come next. And the firms that really succeed in that area, and I think there's lots of no one's really nailing it yet. The firms that really succeed in that area in the next 5 years are going to be the ones that really define and shape the energy landscape for the next 30 or 40 years. So, this is a big moment to get that right.
Leo, that was fantastic. So understanding communication, engagement, and customer first by the sounds of things. So yeah. Leo, look, that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us on One Hero, One Burning Question.
Always a pleasure.
For the audience that are listening, please come and see Leo in October, who will be speaking on one of our panels at Energised Landscape UK. Thanks very much, Leo. Take care.
Thanks.